Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Until about 30 minutes ago I was completely covered in dust. My arm was completely gray, so I apologize if I seem more gray haired than normal. But the renovation work takes a bit of time. But I was walking the garden after I was done with the renovation work, and down at the very end of my garden, where I have the historic rose garden, I noticed a historic rose that shouldn't be in bloom at this time because it is a once blooming rose. Um, but as I probably told you guys before, the summer month here, like in May and June, was so dry. It was one of the driest years in Denmark in nearly a lifetime. Like we had a 9.4 out of 10 on the drought index. And I think this rose has just been so stressed out that it kind of did a later blooming. Old historic roses that are once blooming can sometimes do that when they're incredibly stressed. But I thought now that this rose is in bloom, I thought why not take the opportunity to introduce it to you. And that rose is, of course, Ispahan. And I don't know if you can see Ispahan here. Ispahan is a very, very gorgeous damask rose, and it comes from an area in Iran called Ispahan, just with an F instead of a P. And this is a very old rose from 1827. And it is the city of Isfahan still has a lot of rose festivals to this day. They have a rose festival for pink roses. They have a rose festival for perfume production. A lot of things culturally are still connected to roses in that city. And the Persians bred a lot of wonderful damask roses we really enjoy the fragrance of today. Something like rose direct is also said to come from the Persia or the Middle East, even though it is not as people are not agreeing on that as much. But one thing is for certain: this is a wonderful historic rose that is still used in perfume production, along with another rose called the Kazanlik. Um, the special thing about it, I don't know if I can show you, is it sometimes has a bit of a green center. But unlike something like Madame Hardy, the green center is not completely uncovered. It is like half in there, half covered, half uncovered. Sometimes you can be lucky it is completely uncovered, but it is very rare on this rose. I have noticed this rose does get a little bit of black spot. It is an historic rose after all from the 1800s. I have not had issues with rust on it. A little bit of a thing I will mention is this rose actually has a lot of small thorns. That's why you won't be seeing me handling it a lot, because I don't want to be sitting with a pincer the rest of the night. It has those very, very clear small thorns, kind of like brushes nearly, very, very small, and a lot of them completely covered. So it is definitely not one that is child friendly. This one, the leaves are very light green, very matte. Then they're very, very coarse, kind of leathery to the touch. Um, yeah, but I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, get to the fragrance. What is the fragrance on this thing? And I completely agree. This is a rose you grow for the fragrance. Let's have a whiff here. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Right now is about an 8.5. I have had it go to 9 before, but what I think makes Ispahan so unique is the fact that it is one of the most pure damask scents you can get in a rose. And I think that is excellent if someone wants to learn to scent what damask is, because this one doesn't have added citrus, it doesn't have added spice, it doesn't have anything except pure damask fragrance. And I also think that is why it is used in perfume production, because it is a blank canvas. It is just a mask. If the person producing the perfume want a bit of citrus, they can add that. If they want a bit of spice, they can add that. So in that way, it is a very wonderful rose for perfume production. Now, this one is not one for all gardens because it can grow into a big rose. And it is also a once bloomer, as I said before. This won't rebloom, it won't give you many blooms. It will get completely covered, hopefully in June for you if you um, don't have a bad summer like I did, but hopefully in June for you, unless you have a lot of drought as I had. But it is a wonderful rose, and it is for certain one of the most fragrant historic roses you can grow. Even though, well, I know what a lot of you are thinking. It should be a 10 out of 10, right? Well, the thing is, this is from 1827. A lot of the old historic roses don't actually beat many of the very, very lucky modern roses. If you think about it, we have had 200 years to cross everything that was fragrant. And sometimes you have these freaks of nature where you have crossed like two of these roses that are extremely fragrant, like 8.5 and 9, and then you get something that is just beyond fragrant, like something like velvet fragrance, where you have two parents that are 8.5, and then you get something that is like a 10. So this is not a 10, but it is very good because it is pure damask, and you can do a lot with that pure damask fragrance as a blank canvas when you're creating perfume. But yeah, guys, we have a lot of wonderful roses from Persia and a lot of wonderful roses that have been grown across the Middle East with a lot of fragrance. And I think that's just wonderful that these historic roses are still around and they're still so powerfully fragrant. And I still think a lot of you might be interested in historic roses, but maybe not this one because it is once blooming. But there are certainly a lot of good old historic roses you can get into, like Rose Direct and a lot of the other ones that will actually rebloom for you, and you might find that interesting. But yeah, guys, that was Ispahan, very, very famous rose in perfume production, along with Kazan Lake. Take care out there, guys.